Hello, my name is Teddy, and today I'm going to have an overview on data types in Python. Data types are simply the way data is stored in the memory location, maybe in terms of uh, numbers or strings or collections. So we're just going to mention each one of them. Then in the subsequent tutorials, we're going to look at each one of them. So before we get started, kindly subscribe to my channel. Give a thumbs up to this video, give a comment in the comment section below. So let's get started. So we are going to look at numbers. So let's say numbers. In numbers we have integers. So let's say x equals to 9. That's an integer. So if we print our x, we are going to get 9. So that's our 9. We're also going to look at floating point numbers or decimal numbers. So if we say y equals to 9.0, that's a decimal number or floating point number. So if we say z equals to 1 plus 2j, that's a complex number, right? So we are going to just try and print this. Print y, then print z, and then also look at their types. So we're going to get 9, 1 plus 2j. So if we check their types, like for x, if we check the type, we normally use the type function to check the type. Then we pass in our value as an argument or as a parameter. So this is type. So if we run this, we're going to get integer, float, then complex. So those are the also data types that are stored in our memory location, especially for numbers. Next, we are going to look at strings. So let's say x equals to hi, right? Let me just comment here and say strings. If you print our x, we're going to get hi. So if we check the type, it's gonna be, if you run this, we're going to get class of string, right? So that's our type. So next we're going to look at what we call boolean. Boolean doesn't have much, it's just a true or false. So if we look at if I want to print a true value, we're going to say 1 is less than 2, right? Just comment this string here. So if we run this, what are you going to get? True, because 1 is less than 2. So if we say 1 is greater than 2, that will be false. So it's a false. So our boolean is either true or false. So let me just comment here and say we have a true or we have a false. That's boolean. There's nothing much to talk about. It's normally used in conditional operations. So next we're also going to look at what we call collections. So let me just comment this and say collections or arrays. So in collections we have what we call lists, we have what we call tuples, we have what we call sets, and we have what we call dictionaries, right? So just to mention lists. Lists are normally indexed, and they're changeable, and they're ordered. So we are going to, and they also contain duplicates. So the syntax of lists is we use what we call square brackets to define our lists. So let's say a equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that it can accommodate our duplicates. If we print our a, we are going to get 1 up to 6. If we check the type, what are you going to get? It's a list. So now that we say that lists are indexed, if we say print a, then the index of 0, what are you going to get? Going to get a 1 because it's at index 0. So basically that's what we have on the lists. We'll look at other operations in its own tutorial. So next we're going to look at what we call tuples. Hope you are following along. Also to note, lists can accommodate other data types. Now that we have used only numbers here, it can accommodate strings, it can accommodate other data types. So you can play around with lists using other different data types that we have discussed, like strings. For your assignment, you can try creating lists with strings. Okay. So next we are going to look at tuples. Tuples are in a way similar to lists, but they are not changeable. You cannot change a tuple once it's created. It can also take duplicate values, and its syntax is it's represented or is created with round brackets. So a tuple is created as follows: a equals to, then we have our brackets, and you can have 1, 2, 3, then 4. So if we print our a, what are you going to get? We are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we check the type, what are you going to get? I'm going to get a tuple. So that's the simplest way of how to create a tuple. So you can also duplicate and see what happens. We remove the type. Move the type and run. And it can accommodate duplicate values. Right? So you can use also strings to create tuples. So you can try that. Next, we're going to look at sets. Sets are unindexed and ordered. They cannot contain duplicate values. So let's demonstrate how sets are created. The syntax. I will use curly brackets to create sets. For example, a equals to, then 1, then 2, then 3. So if we print our a, what are we going to get? If we run, we're going to get 1, 2, 3. So if we check the type, what are we going to get? It's a set, right? So let's see if it can accommodate duplicate values, which I doubt. It doesn't. So if we run this, we're just going to get 1, 2, and 3. So sets cannot contain duplicate values. It will just contain that to a 1 value. You can try creating sets with strings in your assignment and see what you can get. So next we are going to look at what we call dictionaries or dictionaries. So dicts are simply key value pairs where you have a key which is like a name, and then the value, like now your name. So simply that's how dicts are. Just know that they are indexed and they can be changed, but they cannot contain duplicate values because a key has to be unique. So we're just going to demonstrate that. We use curly braces, then we say name, and say my name will be, let's say, test, and you can say email. Email is test@test.com. So if we print a, what are you going to get? Name, then email, right? So that's how dictionaries are created in Python. So as you can see, all these kind of data sets, they're important when you want to run certain operations, or when you want to do certain algorithms, or when you want to store certain data sets in your memory in Python. So in a nutshell, these are the few important data types that we have in Python that can enable you do a complete project in Python successfully. So if you have any questions, kindly put in the comment section. If you have any insights, put in the comment section below. Give a thumbs up to this video and kindly subscribe as we go through the most common data types in the next tutorials. Thank you.